Back home in Chicago, winter is doing what winter does. The cold biting at your bones, the gray skies pressing down on you, and that kind of cold that makes you move fast. Just to survive. Just thinking about it gives me the chills.
Drawing the presence means you're not just observing a subject, you're sharing space with it, allowing the moment to shape the line.
Every morning I wake up wrapped in light. Vitamin D pouring into my body like a quiet reminder that life wants to be felt. Warm air, soft mornings, time moving slower. I know soon I'll have to return to Chicago, back to the cold climax of Chicago, Illinois. Back to layers and rushing, and bracing myself against the weather. And that thought sits with me daily. What's going on, family? Welcome to this edition of the Artist Vlog. This next series will be different. These videos will be set up in chapters because what I'm sharing now isn't just technique, it's a way of being with your subject. In this chapter, I want to slow things down a bit. I want to teach you something that isn't really talked about in art school. How to draw in the present. This isn't about style. This isn't about realism versus abstract. This is about awareness. Because before you can draw well, you have to be present. When I say presence, I don't just mean looking carefully or being excited about drawing with a group or, you're in a hurry to get started on that next project. Presence means being aware of your subject. Presence also means being aware of yourself. Drawing in the present means knowing the space between the two, because most artists only use their eyes. Presence also use your body, your emotions, your intuition. You're not copying a face. You're responding to a living moment. Even if that moment is coming from a person, thing, a photograph, or even a memory. Before I ever put charcoal on paper or brush to a canvas, I check myself. I ask myself, am I rushed? Most of the time I am. Am I distracted? Again, most of the time I am. Am I trying to prove something? Back then, yes, but now, not so much. Presence start with stillness. Sometimes that means sitting with a blank paper for a minute. Sometimes it means taking a breath and letting go expectations. You don't control presence, you enter it. Your first lines should not be perfect. They should be responsive. Let the pressure of your hand match what you feel. Heavy presence means grounded lines. Fragile presence means more lighter, broken marks. If your hand is stiff, the drawing will feel stiff. If your hand is open, the drawing will breathe. This awareness is not action. It's a demonstration of how you showed up. Because when you're present, you don't rush the movement. You don't rush the drawing, and you don't rush the encounter. You let it speak. Because presence isn't just thinking about art. It's something I'm learning to recognize, not only in myself, but in life. It's about the way we see, the way we feel, the way we create, being there in the warmth, as far as being present. At this stage of the illustration, it's not about detail, it's about gesture. I let my hand move the way the energy moves. If the subject feels guarded, the lines might be a little tight. If they feel relaxed, the lines open up. Usually, this is where artists tend to get uncomfortable because you can't fake this part. Now, if you're distracted, the drawing will be distracted. If you're anxious, the drawing will show that you're anxious. The paper tells the truth before you do. That's why presence starts with you, not the subject. Because many of the faces I've drawn over the years carry memory. That isn't personal, it's ancestral. When I draw, especially black faces, African faces, diasporic faces, I'm aware I'm not just drawing one life, I'm drawing echoes. I let those echoes guide the rhythm of the drawing. Some lines come from history, some from pain, some from the joy that survived anyway. If you rush to finish, you silence those voices. So I stay with it. Since I'm in the presence right now, I'm constantly asking myself one question. Who am I with right now? Since she's not here in front of me, I'm working from a photograph, and because I know her, that means I'm working from memory. I'm not going to treat this session as an image. I'm going to treat it as an encounter. I'm not here to take anything away from the subject. That was the first mistake I made as a young artist. I was thinking that drawing was all about control. But when I started drawing in the presence, I learned quickly it was all about permission. Because that permission gives me the license to exaggerate a line, distort proportions, or leaving something unresolved. I do it because emotional accuracy is far more better than visual accuracy. And with that permission of being in the presence, it's not about perfection, it's about honesty. And the one thing I've learned from this journey, don't ask what the face looks like, ask what the face have lived through. Being in the presence is a practice. It takes patience, it takes honesty, and it takes awareness, not only of the subject, but of yourself. So the next time you sit down to draw or paint, don't ask if it looks right. Instead, ask, am I fully here? Because when you're present, the drawing will follow. Until next time, stay present.